Hello. Welcome to this first episode of doing a Super League breakdown essentially. Um this is from a match Tampa Bay versus DC from like 2 weeks ago. I'm kind of at the mercy of when things get uploaded. So this is a series I continue, it's going to run about a week behind. This is an episode that I've recorded twice. One time the audio corrupted, the other time the video corrupted. So I'm trying it one more time, and if you see this, obviously it worked. So I want to go ahead and get into this match film. Let's go ahead and break into this. First things first, what we're looking at is DC versus Tampa Bay. If you're looking at the left and you're looking at the right, we are looking at Morgan Aquino for DC Power and Ashley Orkus for Tampa Bay Sun, whom Ashley Orkus was named the goalkeeper of the month for the Super League, which is absolutely deserved. I want to be referring to a couple of things in this episode, and this is every episode. When I refer to goalkeepers, and this is the way I like to do this. I like to break things down via goalkeeper because I feel like you get to see the attacking philosophies and the build-up philosophies really well. Um, I'm not referring to goalkeepers on men versus women. I am referring to like different goalkeepers as their height. So if you watch a match, you're going to notice that some goalkeepers who are taller do different things than goalkeepers who are shorter. It's because they have different strengths, different weaknesses. And that's really on display in this match. And I'm really excited to get into it. So let's go ahead and do that. Why don't we? Tampa Bay Sun are in a 4-1-4-1, allegedly, and the DC Power are in a 4-2-3-1. But the Tampa Bay Sun kind of work more of a three back, and it's really obvious in the second half. But I think that's going to be pretty apparent once we get there. Let's start things off with the star of the show for this one is going to be Ashley Orkus, whom had an absolutely fantastic match in this one. The first opportunity for Orkus comes a minute into the match where ball's played back to her, and she's going to do something that you're going to see a lot, which is playing it over to the left center back, who then plays it over to the left back. This happens a ton. This is kind of the story of how they want to play for most of this match. Obviously, some examples of the ways, but they are really emphasizing playing this left-hand side. This is a ball that goes over to that left center back, who then plays it over to Orkus, who has tons of space. And again, really emphasizing this left hand side. And gets a decent little cross, a little diagonal ball. Doesn't really work out. Now, this is our first chance to see Morgan Aquino. Aquino, as we can see, is standing near the top of her 6-yard box. And we're going to see a cross come in, an early cross, which is really a staple for this Tampa Bay Sun team. And Aquino handles it well, just comes and captures it. And where does she go on this one? I don't remember if we ever really see this, actually. We do. She plays it over to her left center back, who then plays it over to her central midfielder. I want to kind of hop back here. If you notice, their goal for DC Power in this match is to play this holding midfielder. They are looking for her every single time to build up. And what she does almost every single time is play it back to a center back, which I'm not really understanding why. But this one goes back over, and that is kind of that. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. They immediately look for her. That's just really the emphasis on their build-up play, DC Powers. Here, you're kind of seeing how Tampa Bay Sun love to press as well. I kind of have two different ways of defining presses, and it's not the way coaches will, but the way that they like to press is a bit of just kind of cutting off passing lanes. They are closing in space and getting in passing lanes. Some teams are full on what I call golden retriever duty, which is see ball, get ball. And you don't really have that here. Yes, they were putting on some pressure onto the ball holder, but it is really about just cutting off this passing lane, and it forces a bad pass. I kind of mentioned playing through the middle, if you go back and watch Aquino, it's very similar to what Orange County did earlier this year, where it was Shuttler, where they are emphasizing the middle of the pitch. They are looking every chance they can to a central midfielder who you see Shuttler play kind of a risky ball, but plays it right back through and is looking for that central midfielder. This is because he can choose, in this case, he can choose left or right into the midfield, and he chooses his right hand side, and they're breaking up a press. All right, let's talk about what I was talking about. Good English, where we have different heights. Now, Aquino is a bit of a smaller goalkeeper, standing around 5'7" ish, and you see with smaller goalkeepers, in my opinion, should be standing closer to their line. This is because they are typically faster across their line. They can react better, and they just don't have the wingspan to come and get every single ball the way a taller goalkeeper will. And you can really see this here, where she's standing in the middle of her six. Where when you're looking at an outswinging free kick, I think a more aggressive goalkeeper is standing on top of the six. But this is just to give her a little bit more reaction time. This ball, whenever it does come in, you see it lands in an area where I don't think a goalkeeper should come and get this, but you might see a super aggressive, super tall goalkeeper come for a cross like this. They might handle it. It's handled well. It's kind of recycled by the sun, but not really. Not much doing there in terms of causing any danger for power. Now, this is another just kind of free kick that is given here, as soon as we get back to it, where this is an in-swinger now, and you can see Aquino is much closer to her line, as you should expect, and this one comes in, and it's to the top of the box. I have no issue with what Aquino does here whatsoever. But it just kind of lands harmlessly. Here's another outswinger, yet another free kick in about the same spot, where this one, oh, is this? No, this one lands even farther up the pitch. Again, Aquino does well, returns to her line, allows her to react to anything if another shot comes in. Here we have the left back for the Tampa Bay Sun, goes and plays a ball, and I'm gonna be honest, I was a bit surprised that this ball was played. I think that if this DC power forward here reacts a little bit quicker and sees where this ball is going, I think she can cut off this passing lane. I think that this is a bit risky. Maybe not. Maybe it's just because I'm looking at this slow mo, but it just feels that way. And this ball comes back. It's a bit of a bouncing ball, not a bad ball, but it's still a bouncing ball. If I am the coach for DC Power and I'm working a 4-2-3-1, I am telling this forward to attack, to attack, to attack, to attack. Because this is only the second, third time that Aquino's had the ball. And she has all the time in the world. She has no issues. She doesn't really have to make a decision. Her wingers behind her are not pushing up into these passing spaces. So there's no pressure on this back line at all, and they're allowed to build up however they want. I just don't think I really agree with this. I think this would be where just kind of play everything through and really press. This one goes over to the right center back. One of the few times you'll see it go over to the right center back, but it goes forward and they create an attacking opportunity out of it. That's, yeah, doesn't really come to fruition, but they get a get a throw in. Here's another ball that gets played back over to Orkus. Orkus plays it back over to her right center back, who just takes a chance to kind of go up the pitch and try to create some out of it. We have a free kick now, again, by this right back. Play it back over to Orkus, who, again, years of space. There's no one in frame for DC Power, not a human. Played over to the left center back, or to the left back, I suppose, where she has lots of time. And she plays it back over to Orkus, where, again, I think that her body language tells you where this ball is going. I think if you look back here, you can see about right Here, this ball is not going to the center back. You're not going to see across the field switch. There's really only one place this ball is going. I think that if you are DC Power, you're the coach, you're saying get into this passing space, force a mistake. Instead, it's not a great pass. If you notice, this ball is not where Orkus is standing. If she goes and cuts off his passing lane, she has to tap in. Doesn't really work out that way. Again, she has time and space, time and space. Like I just feel like DC Power is missing an opportunity in these pressing areas. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off base here, but it leads to an attack. That much time allows the Sun to get over, and it looks like it's played by the DC Power player back over to Aquino, who Aquino is immediately under pressure. If this was DC Power, she's already kind of dropping back and lets Aquino deal, just time pick her spot. Instead, she immediately come and presses. Aquino has no time to pick out a pass without putting the possession in serious trouble, has to clear it out for a throw in. That's the difference between pressing and not. And I'm not saying be hyper aggressive all the time, but in DC Power's search for keeping a perfect structure all the time, we have two different things where Orcus is allowed to pick a player to pass to. Aquino does not have that luxury, goes off the shin out for a throw in. It's the difference in the press and not pressing. Uh, that just feels like a missed opportunity for me. As this one is played back over now to Aquino from her left back. Again, she has a little bit of time, but we see this filling in press, these passing lane close downs, where this is now played over to the central midfielder once again. And you can see a Sun player hot on her tail now, which leads to what is a really bad pass, to be frank. Absolutely rifles it into the right center back. All because the Sun player is really hot on her tail and she knows that she doesn't not have time to take a touch. She doesn't think she does anyway. She kind of hears the footsteps, rifles one over, and it's immediately one here. And it's an opportunity for Tampa Bay Sun to get across. Now, the first save is done really well by Aquino. Really nice. It's just a very good save. And this is where you can really see how quick a smaller goalkeeper is. She is closer to her line. She sees the cut in. She gets set. And this is a bit of I don't want to say a late reaction, but because she's a little bit smaller, she has that ability to take a late step and she kind of makes up for it. It's not a super across the line save, but it was still one that I think that, a taller goalkeeper might be a little bit farther out. Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely talking out of tail here. But, it's just really, really nice from Aquino. That shot ends up a goal a lot. I say a lot, maybe about 30% of the time, which is still, really sizable number. And here we immediately see just another weird pass where the press is coming in and they're able to work through it, but it does eventually go back over to Aquino. And this is a different look. We see Riley Mattingly Parker, I believe, kind of up top and telling the people behind, hey, step up, fill these passing lanes. And they're really just trying to fill in the passing lanes to the midfield because it seems like they've already kind of spied what she's trying to do. Parker is getting a little bit closer, again, trying to decide where this one's going. She reads it's going over to that center back. And instead of coming in and cutting off the angle to the central midfield, she immediately goes and covers where Aquino is, not allowing Aquino to get that ball. I think that's a bit of a mistake personally because it allows them, DC Power, to break out of the press. Here, Once again, we're just going to have Orkus get the ball, plenty of time in the world, play it over to the left center back. Again, just so much time. This is yet another early cross. This is what the Sun love to do, at least in this match. Early cross in to the top of the box. Nice touch. And the right back just completely gets outdone here. I mean, it is a horrific moment for this right back. I say horrific. It's not that deep. But this ball comes in and she is immediately pulled out of position. She should see that her center back has this covered. Her center back has this completely covered. She bomb rushes in to try to read the touch, goes over her head, and we are one-on-one with the goalkeeper with roughly 10 yards to work with. Uh, a little bit less. It's not a great space to work with, but DC Power does a great job of recovering here because this could have been even worse. Where this is a chip across that starts to go out, put back in by the Sun, touchdown well. Aquino gets a touch onto the post. Again, this is where you can really see the height of the goalkeeper matters. Look how quick Aquino is across her line. She's set up in the middle, close to the middle, and that initial step is just so fast to save this onto the post. I don't know if a taller goalkeeper gets this with maybe a kick save, but just that step is so fast, and that's what you get out of these shorter goalkeepers. It goes off. Parker is there, and she goes and takes a shot, finishes it. Unfortunately for her, the lineman's flag is raised. It's offside, doesn't count. And I just want to show you the pout. Cracked me up. Oh, poor Riley. Bless her heart. This is another pass back over to Aquino. Again, Parker is hot on the tail, covering over. There's no one there to go to this left back, to this central midfielder. Again, they are really emphasizing this central midfielder, but where does she go? Right back to the left center back. It doesn't make sense to me. They go forward to go backward. It is very much a part of their game plan. We have yet another outswinging free kick here for the Sun, and we see Aquino's a little bit closer to her line here. I guess it's just because it's a little bit farther away. It's a little bit more aggressive positioning, which I do like. This one is put in. Center back goes to deal with it pretty well, and just kind of becomes a little bit of a nothing burger, I do believe. Yes, that's correct. This one right back over to Aquino, and this is where Riley Mattingly Parker is again cutting off a passing lane, only leaves one option, straightforward. Right back over to the goalkeeper, where they kind of just put Aquino under pressure. I guess this just means they trust her with the ball at her feet, as they should. She's very good. But it felt a little mindless, and she goes long where I don't know if that ball goes out. I don't know how well she controls that ball, but I thought it was a very good ball to be a pretty high press. This one goes back over, and now Orkus finally is about to get the ball. And again, a weird pass from this left back where Orkus has to recover. And this is a moment where, once again, I want you to watch this pass. It's not a great pass by the left back where they have three players, DC Power do, right here. And Orkus is the only one who can get this ball. Somebody has to crash in because look where she gets this ball. It's almost on the touchline. They have to lock her into this area, force a throw in, force a corner, or even better, win the ball, score a goal. But look, she has so much space that she gets a big roll. What a missed opportunity for DC Power. I mean, look how much time she has. This is crazy. Right back to the left center back. You never guessed it. You would have never guessed that's where she's going. Just to lump it long to the middle of the park. Again, works decently well. Not your best touch. Here we have an in-swinging corner where I'll be honest, I can't really tell what happens here. This one gets put in. I can't tell if If this player is on the near post or if they are on the top of the box, it's kind of hard for me to see for DC Power. But here you have Aquino who is shouting, 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 and the Tampa Bay Sun player goes for a cheeky shot. Aquino saves well. Very well done by Aquino. Very, very well done. Very impressed. Now we have the in swinging corner to the back post. This one's headed across, headed away. Just about out of danger here. There it goes. Now we have what I think is a throw in. This one's kind of touched down pretty well. And the Sun get a kind of lucky here on this opportunity. This one's kind of played over, kind of falls back over onto this left-hand side. A cross comes in. Maybe it was a shot. I doubt it. I think this is a cross that just goes a little wayward. Aquino wins the ball and the foul. This one over to the central midfielder once again. And just to go backwards. Just constant. I don't really understand this philosophy for DC Power, where it immediately leads to a chance. And a lot of this is chemistry stuff, but still. And it goes to a shot. Aquino doesn't touch this. Very fortunate to be let off for a goal here. This ball goes back over to Orkus now for Tampa Bay Sun, where years of space, left center back. You never thought it. Now, this is where you're going to see the height difference for Orkus. If I'm remembering correctly, Orkus is about 5'10", 5'11". So she has 4 inches on Aquino. And those 4 inches are really allow her to be a little bit more aggressive in some positioning. And you know about where this one's going to go. If you're Orkus, this one's probably going to be aiming for the penalty spot or around that area, a little farther, a little less. But this is usually where you're aiming for this penalty area. And long run up going to be coming here. And this one goes to the top of the D. Touched, shot, goes well over for a corner. But now we have an outswinging corner. Orkus is really aggressive. You can see she's close to the top of the box on this. She's not really worried. She's trying to win this ball because, again, she's a little bit taller. This one goes way out to the top of the box, kind of headed across. Orkus comes in, cleans up the scraps. Well done. Good job. Little pats. Thank you. I want you to take a guess on where this one goes. You're not going to be able to figure out. Well, we'll get the replay, but we'll see. Where does it go? Watch this. Oh, back to her. Left center back. Yup. Oh, back to Orkus. Where does she go next? Her best friend, of course, the left center back. Here's a good attacking opportunity for the Tampa Bay Sun. Again, over to this left wing where an early cross is put in. Aquino comes and collects quickly. No much danger. Central midfielder. Now she can take the time to turn. This is one of the few times, if not the only time, that she doesn't immediately just rifle it back over to the center backs. She takes that space. And I wonder if it's purely because Tampa Bay Sun were pressing so heavily that she couldn't do it, but it just felt weird. Over to Aquino. Where does Aquino go? You've never guessed it. Central midfielder. Yep. Now this one is a bit of a foot race. Where does it go? Aquino, of course. We get a press coming in. She has a little bit of time and play it back over to that left back because they cut down on that angle for the center back or to central midfielder. Now Orkus plays this one over to her right back or right center back over to Orkus. Where's Ashley going to go? Left center back, her bestie. Everyone knows that. And where does this one go? Back to Orkus. These two are having such a good time. Just absolute friends. Oh, share some love to right back. I don't want to seem like I'm having favorites. Go over the top, win the ball. Doesn't quite work out. Here's another free kick opportunity near the bottom of the circle. This one comes in pretty well. And this one lands right where we said earlier, around the penalty spot. Yep, right on it. Orkus does not collect that. There's a lot of bodies in the way. Would have been dangerous. That's fine with me. This one goes out for a corner where they have an in swinger. This one comes in, and this is what DC Power does a lot of. DC Power loves these low driven crosses on the corners because they're really hard to defend. One flick on, and it's almost always a goal. It's so much harder to deal with. It's harder to pull off, but it's so much harder to deal with. This one gets a little flick on, not much of it, out for what should be another corner, but they put another service into the box. Here comes Orkus. This is where her height comes into play. She catches it, wins the foul. This is the height of Orkus at its best. I mean, seriously, just watch this again, if I can even get there. Just want to watch it all. She's again on her line. It's a hard ball to deal with those low driven crosses. This one's a looping one, and this is why it's different. This one loops out, and she's able to come and collect it. I'm not saying Aquino could not collect this. She obviously can, but it's just a little bit easier for Orkus, who stands about 4 or 5 inches taller. Collects, win the foul. Way to go, keep. Good hands. She's going to put this ball down. Where do you think this one's going to go? Where do you think? Yep. Cracks me up. DC Power once again. And here we have, I believe it's Parker, kind of cutting some stuff off. Again, just kind of being a menace in general. Not much to see here. This one goes back over to center back. Nice touch around. I really enjoyed that. Here we have a free kick, top of the box. And I think that Orkus got away with one here. This is one I remember kind of looking at live, where she sets up her wall on her right side, the shooter's left side, and she leaves a lot of space open on Orkus's left, the shooter's right. There's not a wall covering there. Orkus is not really covering this spot either. She has to really trust herself to get over across the line, get a step and a jump. And when you're working from the 18-yard box, you know that the shot taker doesn't really have enough space to get this one up and over. So your best chance at this point is to drive one far post. And she's inviting it. And I don't know if I like that. Maybe this is a camera angle thing and it's not as bad as it looks, which could totally be the case. But it just feels like a weird opportunity that I don't know if Orkus means to have this much space on her far side, especially with the wall already covering where she is. At this point, as a goalkeeper, personally, I would say, especially the way she's lining up, she looks like she's lining up to drive this one. If I'm Orkus, I'm saying she doesn't have enough room to get this one up and over. If she does, it's a world-class finish. I just cannot get beat where my wall isn't. And here she is. She's going to take the shot in just 1 second. Again, look at how much space Orkus is leaving. She comes in, drives it, cannot quite get it there. But again, she goes for that far post. It works out for Orkus, but I don't really like it. I don't like that. Where does Orkus go? Yep, left center back. Her best friend. I don't know if they are best friends. But this is another free kick in that same area where Orkus on top of her 6. We know where this one's going to go. Probably top of the in all reality, top of the box to the penalty spot. That's what you're looking at. If it's penalty spot, it's Orkus's. That is her ball. Anything above that, and if it's not going to reach the penalty spot, retreat to the line, figure it out. So what does she do? This one goes top of the box, retreat to the line, kind of head on, not much doing. Good stuff. Now we're on to the second half, where immediate shot pass just kind of goes long, and it's just going to dribble away into nothing for our left center back now to get it. Now, this is where we kind of go to a 3-back system. You're really seeing in the second half of the Sun that this is a 3-back system. Now, this is where Tampa Bay Sun start to really create some stuff. And this little overlap completely catches DC Power. We have a first time delivery in. Mattingly, I don't really know what happens here. I don't know if it's saved. I don't know if it's off the hand. No idea. Orkus plays it. You never guessed. Left center back, who's now her central center back, but that's neither here nor there. Still the same human being. Now we have the Sun. Once again, kind of a weak shot put in. Aquino deals with this well. There's nothing doing with this. Where does it go? Yep. Her other best friend, the central midfielder. Different central midfielder, but just to go back to the back line. I She had a runner here where I think that if she releases this, like we saw with Shuttler earlier in this episode, where immediately played over to a sprinting winger, she can play this on and they have a counterattacking opportunity right back to the back line. This is something obviously coached, and I don't get it. I simply don't understand. Tampa Bay Sun have another opportunity. This one is a shot. Not saved, but I mean, it's just a nice shot. This is where you kind of see the height come into play just a little bit, but not really too much. I think that Aquino could have done here. It's just a height thing. You kind of know that as a shorter goalkeeper that you're conceding space to your top, which is why I do believe you should be closer to your line. And if you look, if this ball is any lower, she saves it. She does a really great job. The only place that this ball could go is over or the bar. Hits off the bar. Mattingly Parker not in a place to finish it up. Dealt well by the power. I thought this was handled well by Aquino. It looks scarier than it actually was. I think Aquino had it handled the entire way. Tampa Bay Sun have another opportunity where this one's played on this overlap. This overlap is really where they started getting a lot of almost all their opportunities. This is one where I think if I am, again, I can just pause the video and see it, but you have a streaking runner to the back post. I think that this should be a cross to the back post here. It's a shot. It's really well saved by Aquino. Really well saved. I mean, it's an impressive save by Aquino. I'm going to kind of go back and watch it again, where, again, just sees it late, reacts well. Brilliant save. Results to a corner and swinger. Aquino comes out for this. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the aggressiveness in her coming for this ball. It's an in swinger. She's going to be close to her line. This one goes to the top of her six, and she says, "The six is mine. Punch it away." Quality punch. Good stuff on Aquino. I really enjoyed this. This one kind of comes back in. Not much doing. I mean, DC Power treats it weird, lines up for a shot, sorta, go over to the winger. Where's this shot or this cross going to come into the back post? Aquino again. I mean, safe hands. Way to go, Morgan. Loved it. Love it. Do you want to take a guess where this one's going? You want to take a guess? Do you know? Central midfielder. Another cross comes in. This one, a free header. I mean, this can't happen. I don't know if the center back just kind of loses her place, but oh my gosh. If you're, I believe this is Parker still. If you're Parker, you're really kicking yourself because, like, you want a better connection. It looks like she kind of just mistimes her jump just a little bit. Not entirely, but I mean, good God, she gets so far off the ground. Just not super powerful. You want just a little bit better than that. But I mean, if you're a center back, you're furious. And guess where that one goes? Yep, to her central midfielder. Hey, this is the beginning of seeing what causes Tampa Bay Sun to struggle. These inverted wingers are really causing trouble for the Tampa Bay Sun. Where this ball comes in, cut inside, looks like it could have been a shot, deflects off immediately, falls down cleanly. And here comes first time shot. This one loops. I mean, dealt well by Orkus. Absolutely nothing doing. I mean, but this is kind of a warning where we're going to see a lot of these inverted wingers. These wingers that cut inside are going to cause a lot of issue for Tampa Bay. Early cross comes in. Orkus deals with it well. I mean, come on. This is good stuff, man. This is Oh, I went to the wrong place. It does appear. I'm just going to go back up just a little bit more. I mean, just in comes the outswinger. Where's this one? I mean, she's way back there. Top of the box, punches it away. Golly, Ashley. What a punch. Loved it. Headed down. Hey, guess where this one's going? Yep, her best friend. Again, no pressure. Absolutely none for DC. Who cares? But also, if I'm Tempe's son, I got to change it up because they're not doing anything in the middle of the field. They're not pushing anything to the middle of the field. They're not really dominating anything. They're so trying to work on these overlaps, and they're just not that threatening right now, especially when we're working up from the back. A lot of space in the middle, but doesn't really do much. Here's an early cross to try to get a diagonal. Weird header. Orkus comes out, picks it up, works out well. It's fine. Where does it go? Take a guess. I'm pointing. Come here. Go over that way. Go over that way. Oh, you thought I was going to go to my best friend? How about my left center back? The actual left center back, not the central left center back. You thought I was going to her? You're wrong. Tempe's son have it, just kind of dribbling around. Now, Orkus gets the ball. Time and space, space and time. Everybody has that. Now, here's a shot that I was very fascinated by, where we have Tampa Bay's son, who they're in a good position to once again put this ball on top of the 6-yard box or the penalty spot. This is kind of the only place that this ball can go. And everybody knows it. This is why they are lined up on the top of the box. And I'm seeing this run up. This looks like a shot lineup to me. It's because it was. At first, I thought this was a horrific decision. Look where Aquino is. She's on the top of her 6 because, as she should be, ready to come collect any ball that lands on the top of her 6 or the penalty spot. This is a shot taken, and it looks like a bad shot. It looks like a wasted opportunity. This doesn't go that far over. Aquino's beat. I hated it at first. I actually think it's really smart. I thought it was a smart play. Here, DC power. Where's this one going? Right back over to Aquino. Ooh, here comes the press. She only has the 2 options, and she picks the dangerous one. Aquino loves to live on the edge. Right over to the middle, lots of space. Back over to her compadre over onto the left-hand side. Here's another winger. We're about to get a nice little cross in. Orkus deals with it well. Bang, boom, nothing doing. Clear it out. It's hot in Tampa Bay. I'm a little tired. Let all my teammates get up. Where do you think this one is going, people? Take a guess. Do you know? Do you know where? Wrong. It was the other left center back. Now here's another one of those inverted winger moments that's really causing a Bay issue. Cut inside, cut outside. Right here, it looks like Orkus is beat. Like she does not look like she is set where she's supposed to be. That kind of touch out gets her, but she loads fast and gets a palm to it, man. This is such an impressive save. This is such an impressive save when what is essentially a one-on-one situation. I mean, look at this. She has so much space. She's set, she's loaded, arms wide, ready to react. She puts out her foot thinking it's going to be a low shot. Fair. I would too. Palms up fast. God, it's a brilliant save. I think that's even better save than her penalty save that's coming up later. Here's another chance for DC. Another winger moment. This one's going to cut inside, play over to the other one. She's going to line this one up. And this one is right down the middle of the goal mouth. Fall on it. Man, y'all making me work. That's okay. I'll pass you the ball in a little bit. You know I will. I'll roll it to you. See? I have ball. Oh, rolled it to my best friend. This one's played back over now. A little bit of pressure. And that's kind of the first time we saw real pressure out of DC Power, and then they said, "No, we ain't don't want to do that." But she still clears it long anyway because you can see what that pressure does. Again, run through the middle. This is where the winger kind of sets up, takes a touch, another touch, across the face of goal, and this is a brilliant save. Seriously, this is unreal. I I do believe this is a save anyway. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I do believe it's a save. Where I mean, look at this. The power that this DC Power player gets going across the face, going to put it across her body. Orkus is going low. She's set low, goes high, tips it onto the post. Again, just simply unbelievable save by Orkus. Here comes an out swinging corner. Again, they are really trying these low driven corners, and here's why. Shot, immediate shot. Hard to put it on target, skies it. But this is the reason why they do those. Oh, to my best friend. Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate you. And we go long because that's what we do. Again, another inverted winger moment where it really causes issues. This runner on the overlap takes a player, the player that was on this winger kind of gets left behind because that space is taken up. Yards of space, 5 yards of space. Line it up. This is postage stamp stuff. This is top corner. Saves it. I mean, seriously. I like watching 35 here. Hands up. Are we kidding? Are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable performance by Ashley Orkus. Outswinging, again, nice, low and driven. Almost gets a shot off, doesn't quite. Winger gets it again. Are we going to recycle it? Nope, does not happen. Here's a little pass back. DC Power finally puts some pressure on. She plays it back quick. Orkus also well. Look at that pressure. Look how much faster Tampa Bay had to work. And it causes a little bit of an issue. Here comes a cross kind of to the top of the box, dealt with. A shot, kind of saved well. I think Ashley wants this one back. If she were to just kind of say what would I change here, I do think that she wants this one back. Driven across, not dealt with particularly well, but still dealt with. Shot comes in right to her hands. Definitely catches her off guard. I'm not saying I catch this. I definitely don't. But right to a player. Luckily, her center back's there to stop it. Able to get up and recover. I mean, it's still a nice stop. Don't get me wrong, but definitely, when in doubt, you want to catch that one. Now, here's a little awkward moment where the aggression of Orkus, because she's a taller goalkeeper, she's staying farther onto the line. She comes out and she plays it well. That aggression is important because you're going to see soon it leads to an issue where this is a horrific pass. I mean, oh my gosh. Who is that to? Is that to the left back? I don't know, but Ashley isn't prepared for it, but she sees it's happening, comes out quick, puts a foot, it's a foul. I mean, this is a penalty. I do think, though, if she goes hands first, I think that she goes to grab this ball with her hands, that she doesn't get called. I think right here, if she goes to smother with her hands, even if she catches the same amount of body, it's not a pin. But I mean, come on. Yeah, Stonewall. You have to call it. Now, this is just good stuff. This DC power player kind of lines up like she's a right or left footer, kind of backs up, kind of ambiguous, but she's a right footer. Now, my general rule of thumb is if it's a right footer, they're going to my right. If it's a left footer, they're going to my left. That just is how my brain works. That's how I would read almost all these situations, which is why I'm not a professional. But you don't really just see too much of the going to the opposite direction. And I think that the taker tells a little bit. I think in the run up, she tells that she's going to her left, Orkus is right. Let me see. Because when I saw her run up, I guessed right as well. Lined up. Here we go. From here, it looks like her body is going, or, and this isn't fair because I can see it, but it just felt like it was going right. Just when in doubt, that's what I do. And I love when a goalkeeper gets a good save and she just kind of, she just kind of stands there, just like, meh, don't talk to me. I did my job, because that's how they know they did a good save. And at this point, it starts raining in Tampa Bay, and they just got a big penalty save. What are we doing? Get it out of here. We are going long. The rain started, and they are just trying to get it long. Partially, I think they're trying to get a goal, but also just get this ball away. We're playing a little bit of game between the keepers. This one goes over to Orkus, into Aquino, I'm sorry. And now Orkus, hey, we're just going to fire this one back the opposite direction. We have an outswinger for DC Power here. This one's taken. Not great. Doesn't really land anybody. Yeah, is what it is. And again, a little bit of keeper to keeper action. Aquino, who had a heck of a game this match, bounces over everybody. And here's Orkus, and that is full time. And she's tired. Everybody's tired. We're exhausted. It's raining. And that's how this one ended up 0-0. I thought that this match was a ton of fun. I thought this was a ton of fun just to watch in general. Seeing the way that they kind of treat each other and just how they played was interesting. I think both teams are missing the mark in places tactically, and I think you kind of see that. But I'm an idiot with a microphone. What do I know? I guess if you're seeing this, thank you for watching. If you made it through all that yapping, appreciate it. Yeah, until next time, thank you all, and hope to do it again. Peace.